Okay, now let's look at the optical disk, which is the other category. Now, the optical disk is a ordinary disk that is coated on one side and then has a label on the other side. You guys have normally seen your optical disks. Now, with optical disk, it stores and retrieves information using a laser, right? And it also uses direct access. Now, there are three basic types of optical disks. We have compact disc, digital versatile or video disc, and we have Blu-ray disc, right? Now, you guys know what optical disc is. There are CDs or DVDs and are Blu-rays, and they're basically each of them coming in three variations, and the three variations are basically alike. So with CD, you have CD-ROM, CD-R, and CD-RW. With DVD, the same thing: DVD-ROM, DVD-R, DVD-RW. Then you have BDR-ROM, BDR-R, and BRE. Now, the ROM variations is where you already have the information saved on the device and it's sold to you that way. This information cannot be taken off, right? It's permanent on there. Now, ingenious people have found ways to take them off, but for the most part, it's difficult for the ordinary person to just take off the information and use this for something else, right? The next we have the R variations, means recordable. So they allow you to write once to the disk and that's it. And then the RW or the RE variation is basically rewritable. This is where you can write and erase a number of times, as many times as you want, right? Now, the CDs were initially for music, initially created for music, but they were used at the time for any different type of thing, text, sometimes pictures and so forth, right? The DVDs were created for actual videos, to save videos, and then the Blu-rays were created for high definition videos, right? So now let's look at the next thing here, which is solid state storage, which is the final category of storage devices. Now, this is what's replacing the hard disk, right? These are what are now replacing the hard disk, and these types of storage devices are smaller, they're faster, they don't have any internal parts, right? And they basically save and retrieve the information, what is called as a flash. They basically use EEPROM to save and retrieve their information in what is known as a flash, right? And there are basically three types of solid state storage. There's flash memory, USB drives, and solid state storage. Let's look at flash memory. Now, flash memory is basically what we call a memory sticks. So any device that you use inside of your phone, inside of like maybe a video camera or a digital camera, these would be your memory sticks, right? And they have different names for them, and they have different specific ones used for specific devices and so forth. The capacity ranges from 64 megabytes up to 512 gigabytes now, right? So all these different names here are basically different types of flash memory, or because some of them are used in different devices. For example, the XD picture card is used in a digital camera, right? And it can only be used in that. Now let's move on and look at USB drives. Now we all know what USBs are. We use them constantly to save our information. This is and just to be clear, the flash memory and the USB drives, they're both portable drives. That means you can carry them around with you, right? USB drives become very common. They're small, very small. They can hold a maximum up to 1 terabyte. The thing about USB drives though is that they have many different names. They don't have a set name like you would have like a hard disk or a floppy disk. There's no one set name for it. When a manufacturer creates the device, he then gives it his name. So it can have different names like flash drive, jump drive, pen drive, junk drive, all these different names, right? So that's basically a USB drive. And now let's look at the last one, solid state storage. Now, this is the one that's actually replacing the hard drive itself. As you can see in the picture there, it is smaller and thinner, and it doesn't have any internal parts. And there are two types. There's a bigger one, and there's a one that is really tiny one, right? You see it there in the picture. So these are really fast, and like I said, they're small. So with the new devices being so thin, these two are becoming very prevalent in newer devices. And because it has no internal parts, it's another advantage, right? The capacity range from about 256 gigabytes to about 16 terabytes. It's a similar capacity like you would have in a hard drive. So yeah, that's it for solid state drives. The next thing we want to look at are some advantages and disadvantages. This is just basically a table showing you the different types of storage devices, their advantages and their disadvantages. You just have to know at least 3 advantages and at least 2 disadvantages. I'm not going to go through them, but I'm going to ask that you do is, if you can, just look at them, pause the video if you need to, and just take a look to see if you can remember or write them down or whatever. So some of the options only have one disadvantage, so that's all it can write. If you can think of another one, so be it. All right, so that's basically it for secondary storage devices.